Well. Happy Thursday. Good morning, Alpha Origins. Thanks for being here with Wake Up Web3. You got JC this morning. Let's see. Just checking. Okay, cool. I hope you had a great Wednesday. I'm going to pull up some charts here on my phone so I don't have to be switching back and forth. All right. Ooh, spicy. We talk about that here in a little bit. How is everybody? You doing okay? Thanks for joining us here on the live show. If, as always, as you join in, if you're live here, if you'll click the like, that will. Reptar is, I have not talked to Reptar this morning, so I don't know what's going on this morning. But the more you interact in the chat, the more you click the likes, the more you do all of the sharing and stuff, the more the algorithm pushes our content out. So definitely would appreciate that this morning. But let's get into it. I do have some interesting stuff to talk about today, and I would definitely want to hear your thoughts either live or in the comments. Let me switch over and get where we start out. You know it. Morning, Mr. Gray. Thanks for being here. We're going to start out with the bubbles, my bubbles. I just got them pulled up. They are refreshed. And good Lord, is that a lot of red. Let's take a look at the chart, not the chart, the stuff here. Binance down, Zcash, Quant, Aster. Okay. Aster down. Stable is up, interestingly enough. River down after a huge last few days. See? So River heading back down towards the bottom. There was 34. What about on the month? Oof, 485. I mean, look at that. From $4.85 to $84, a 20x. That's interesting. We did talk briefly about that yesterday. Bitcoin, yikes, 86,000. But that's the range there. I'll show it on the chart here in a minute. ONDO down 5. A great spot to pick up some ONDO if you're into that. As always, that is not financial advice. You do your research like you should. And I just point out things that I like, and that's about it. Canton is a huge player in real world assets now. They're generating multi-million in fees every day. Canton Network. Let me go up here. We'll check it out over here. We'll do CoinMarketCap in a minute. Canton, is that CC? Is that what we're talking about? Canton on the daily. Got a nice little candle here on the daily green. We zoom out, see where they are. So they haven't been around very long, looks like. There, so what is that? The week of? Dang, I hate this. You got to get exact right spot. All right, November 17th, 2025. So they opened at 11 cents and then dropped down a good little bit. Now they're up at 16 cents. Not bad. All right, let's check out the main stats here. Market cap down below 3 again. That's never a good thing. Fear and greed still hanging at 38. It was at 38 yesterday. So I guess most of retail is like whatever. Right. I want to show you we're still in this range right here. This is a weekly. So you can see that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks in a row. We've been in this little channel here, minus the wicks, 85 to 94. 85 to 94. So right now we're down here at 86. I'm not a day trader. I'm not a leverage trader. I'm not trading range. I don't trade at all. But it looks to me like you buy some at the bottom, you sell some at the top. Like you buy some around 85, you sell it around 94. Maybe that's a good setup. I don't know. DJ might be able to explain that a little better for you. On the daily, it looks a little more spread out. But look at that. That top at 97, minus the wick there. And then down here at the bottom, 84.8, so 85. I mean, that's, if you like to play that game, you got a nice long section of up and down and up and down. Eventually that's going to break. I just hope if you're playing the leverage game, you're in the right spot, going the right direction when it does break. But good luck to you on that. ETH dropped back down below 3,000. Let's see if they've got the same. Go to the weekly here, see if it looks about the same. Yeah, not quite as many weeks. So 1, 2, 3. Let's go back to November. Yeah, so right in here, the range is a little different, all the way up to 42. It's got a shorter thing here where it's 32 to 28, 32 to 28, but it's not as stretched out as the Bitcoin chart. Binance XRP. Ooh, XRP down to 182. Let's see what their bottoms and tops have been recently. Slightly different looking chart. It's unusual to see different charts. So this is on the weekly. So we're looking down here at 180. And the short term, even shorter term at 208. You can get up here at like 220. So yeah, between 180 and 2, I don't know. If you do that thing, I don't. Ice and I were talking yesterday. We need to learn how to do that because there's opportunity there. Oh well, not my thing. Let's see if we got a new update on the Fed rate cut for next. The next rate cut is March, or the next meeting is March 18th. There's currently an 86% chance that they will keep it the same again, and that's based on all of the nonsense that Jerome Powell spewed yesterday. And we'll talk about that a little bit here in a minute, but I mean, seriously, if you watched any of the videos, I'm not going to play his videos because they're just so mind-numbingly double-speak stupid. He literally came out and said, "Oh, there are some people that say, we should leave it where it is. There's some people that say maybe we should cut it a little bit. There's some people that say maybe we should cut it a lot." Thanks, Jerome. There are some people that say that they like the sunshine. There are some people that say that it's going to be partly cloudy. Like, great. Thanks for that. And of course, he had to, in his speech, had to talk about, it's bad. It would be bad if elected officials controlled the Federal Reserve. We control the Federal Reserve. Yeah, we control the Federal Reserve for the good of the people, not for a small group. The Federal Reserve is a private bank. You control the money supply for the benefit of the private bank. You could care less about how the guy who works a 9 to 5, making $17 to $22 an hour, you're devaluing the dollar. So you don't give a flying flip about him and his family. So yeah, you can shut up forever with that nonsense. Nobody's buying it anymore. Yeah. Anyway, that's a rant for later in the show. All right, let me start out with a little bit of hopium from Bull Theory here. Let me switch to this because it makes that bigger. So the U.S. dollar is testing the same zone that triggered the 2017 and 2021 Bitcoin bull runs. So the dollar index, the DXY, has broken below its 16-year long-term trend line and is sitting at the critical level of 96. Each time the DXY has broken below 96 and held, Bitcoin has moved aggressively higher. So I assume he's got a chart down here. This is how liquidity cycles work. When the dollar weakens, cash loses relative strength, right? We understand that. The dollar weakens because that means there's more dollars. If there's more dollars, your dollars buy less. Okay? Capital flows into scarce assets because they know, wait a minute, that asset is going to be worth more dollars in the future. Hence, gold is up to 5,500 today. So Bitcoin benefits from that as well. But here is the chart. I'm going to have to move this back down so you can see the whole thing. So here's the chart looking at the DXY. And let me come over here and see if this will fix that. There we go. So here's the DXY. And you can see he's highlighting the ranges here where the DXY falls below 96 and stays there. What is this? This is a weekly. So it stays there for a few weeks. That looks like a good little bit of staying below. Okay, so this is not a short-term thing. Each candle is a week, so that's a good bit of time staying below 96. And apparently, according to this chart, we're just now entering it. So we should have, if this holds true, we're going to have several weeks of down in here for the DXY. But I want to point out that the DXY rallies, and you can see at the same time, this is the Bitcoin chart during the exact same time frame. Okay, here's the dates lining up: 2017, 2017. Okay. So the last time we had a prolonged period of the US dollar being below 96 on the DXY, Bitcoin 10x'd. And then this time in 2020, when it stayed down for a long time, Bitcoin 7x'd. What's going to happen here? Yeah, I did see this. And we're going to talk about ONDO here in a minute as well. ONDO currently has 202 tokenized stocks, according to rwa.xyz. We'll talk about ONDO. ONDO's got on the 2nd, so next week, they have their ONDO convention or whatever. Yeah, I'll get to that at the end. And I'm going to turn that off. So a little bit of hopium there for your longer term format for Bitcoin. So let's not get too worried. Short term may suck though. From Cryptos R Us, some good news. We expect the U.S. Senate to vote tomorrow at the committee level, not the full Senate, not to pass the bill, but at the committee level, the crypto market structure bill. One of the most important regulatory moments for crypto in years. We will see. They were supposed to vote on that a couple of weeks ago and got shot down by or got resisted, got called out for the nonsense by Brian Armstrong of Coinbase and others. But we'll see. Tomorrow, Friday, the January the 30th, they are going to, hey, Link hits 180-day low, so Chainlink's not a bad pickup right here. But anyway, tomorrow, Friday the 30th of January, we should or could see the U.S. Senate different committees voting on the crypto market structure bill. It has passed through some committees, then it goes to the full Senate. And we'll see. Yeah, so a little bit on Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell says U.S. inflation remains elevated. Really? Because Trueflation CPI says 1.23%. That's elevated? This dude is smoking the real good stuff. I think he's got some fentanyl laced in there because, dude, 1.23% is elevated. And like I said this yesterday, he's going to ignore any news that says he should cut rates, and he's going to hype up any news that says he should leave rates the same. This guy literally said U.S. inflation remains elevated when we can all see the number. That's like me telling you, I'm wearing a blue hoodie. You can literally see my hoodie, and I'm telling you, I'm wearing a blue hoodie today. All right. Let's get into the main topic of today. Are we at the global reset? What is the deal? Does this whole move to gold and the devaluation of the dollar, are we at the global reset for the financial systems? I'm going to make the argument that it is possible, but I would definitely love to hear what you guys think. So from Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase or Chase Bank, went on national TV and said crypto is better than the current financial system. And this is actually a little bit older interview with him, but they're just bringing this up today, or I'm bringing this up today because it's relevant. The experiment phase is over. This is the pivot of the century. Big banks, governments. Sorry, I got to take these out. There's no Reptar, so I don't have to listen to anybody. Breathe. I'm good. I got lots of sleep. Got lots of caffeine. I'm hyped up. Yeah, the last, almost 15 years now. Bitcoin's been around for 15 years. Has been a gradual test of cryptocurrency and blockchain. Because you guys remember a certain somebody who was the chief technical officer for XRP, or for Ripple, I should say, who did write some of the code for XRP, put out a paper while he worked for the NSA back in the late 90s about cryptography and currency and blockchain technology. So this has been building for a while. They've been testing it. We've talked about it a long time. NFTs, non-fungible tokens, are not just digital pictures of monkeys or pixelated punks or random aliens. NFTs that was just the testing of the technology. What we're seeing is a pivot, is what Jamie Dimon calls it, to the next evolution of economics, finance, global monetary supply. Anyway, all that to move on to this. By the way, yeah, gold, $5,500. Why are so many people buying gold? We've been talking, by we I mean the world has been talking about nations buying gold for years. China's buying gold, the UK is buying gold, Poland is buying gold, the United States is demanding that all of its gold held in other countries be repatriated into the United States vaults. Like, what is going on? Why are people stacking gold? And all of a sudden, gold is like, China's been stacking gold for 20 years. The United States, nations around the world have been stacking gold for years. Why is gold all of a sudden going to $5,500? Could it have something to do with what we talked about yesterday and the devaluation of the dollar? The dollar is the world reserve currency, for better or for worse, and has been for a long time. Now, we can go back and look at shifts in global currencies. We had the franc, we had the pound. That's about as far back as my memory can get me there. But there has been throughout history, there's been one particular currency, Roman denarius. I don't know. Nice. Ice just bought some more Link. I literally have no cash on hand, and this year we're just we're projecting out. My wife and I are projecting out our budget yesterday, and projecting out a tighter budget just due to some of the stuff she's done, some of the stuff they've done as a business that she's they're gonna spend more of their funds on growth and less on salary. So yeah, I'm not going to have nearly as much petty cash to throw into dips. So I'm stuck where I am for now, unless we get a nice pump, and I'll sell some profit and then reinvest. But anyway, back to this. Why is gold up? This is Ray Dalio. This is one of his quotes. Ray Dalio just warned us the monetary system is ending. Banks aren't buying gold for profit. They are buying to escape the dollar. The Great Reset is here. There's no ceiling for gold because there's no floor for fiat currency. I'm going to make the argument that if that is the case, there is no ceiling for any asset because there is no floor to fiat currency. Own your home, there is no ceiling to that price because there's no floor to fiat currency. I mean, there's no floor, there's no ceiling to Bitcoin because there's no floor to fiat currency. If you're measuring Bitcoin against the dollar, one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. However, one Bitcoin is now $86,000 or $125,000. But if there's if there's more dollars, there's the same amount of Bitcoin. That there's more dollars, there's the same amount of gold, relatively. Yeah, it's like, so if you're, let's imagine you're a big bank and you know the plan, or you're a nation and you know the plan. You've read, like we talked about yesterday, you read the Mar-a-Lago Accord. You know the plan is to devalue the dollar to make it competitive. you don't want to hold dollars, right? Because they're going to buy you less. So you hold something that doesn't devalue, in this case, gold, and you wait. And you go, what's the next thing going to be? What's our next global currency going to be? And you go, okay, I'm going to wait and see. And I would imagine, I'm going to argue, it's going to be digital. It will be a digital currency, and it may be represented by some form of paper, but most people anymore don't use paper at all. They just use their little piece of plastic to withdraw a portion of their paper holdings. But if all of a sudden your $100 has the purchasing power of $3, but your $100 of gold still has the purchasing power of $100, when the next currency comes up, you just trade that gold for that $100 of the new currency. And so that's what I think banks and big corporations and nations are doing, is holding real, tangible, physical assets. Gold is up, silver is up, palladium's up, platinum's up, uranium's up big today. Physical assets. Yep, I am 100% on the Moon Lambo strategy. I just buy it and hold it forever, which I would argue is the Warren Buffett strategy. Interestingly enough, Warren Buffett has sold out a lot of his stocks into dollars. I would love to know where he's parking those dollars to future-proof them, because he's not going to keep them in US dollars, because he knows currency is meant to be devalued. That's a great thing, because now he's no longer the head, like he retired. So I wonder what he's doing with his private money, because he ain't keeping it in dollars. Would love to know that. Anthony Pompliano, the U.S. government is trying to tank the U.S. dollar. They are reordering the global trading system, including tariffs, deregulation, tax cuts, tech innovations, and a weaker dollar. I don't know, ICE. It's just stable coins to earn that yield. If they're pegged to the dollar, though, it doesn't change. Like, you're still in the same problem. It's still pegged to a dollar, which is worth less and less over time. So you need something that will be worth more stable coins in the future, so that you can trade them into the new stable coin economy. I don't know. So this is this is Anthony Pompliano. The end result of this dollar devaluation is high growth and low inflation economy. I get the argument, but so too do all of the other nations and big banks and governments around the world. And they're like, why would I hold dollars? Now, what they may do is buy dollars when they are super, super cheap, in order to spend them on, building, they want to build a plant to manufacture something. Yeah, going back to this is ICE, going back to Warren Buffett, and I'm saying this because my recording is about 20 seconds ahead of what you're watching, so the comments are coming in live as I'm speaking, but they are about 20 seconds behind me. Let me move that forward. All right, Mr. Gray, thanks for being here. Have a great Thursday, and we'll see you in the chat. That may be true. ICE, he may be just hoarding dollars, waiting for the prices to go down so he can dump dollars in. That may be the end of his strategy, is hold cash so that when the stocks tank, he can buy more of them. But the dude's like 90. I mean, like, he's got more money than, all but 30 people in the world. Why? whatever. He can do him. Anyway, let me move back to this here. Let's see. By the way, just a little bit more hopium. So this is continuing on in the theme from Larry Fink. I love it. Like Mr. Larry Fink, Bitcoin is the pet rock. Now says if you're frightened of the debasement of your currency, you should buy Bitcoin because the price is going to $700,000. I freaking love it. You lying hypocrite who's been stacking Bitcoin for years while calling it a scam, while calling it the tool for money laundering, while calling it a pet rock, all of a sudden, if you're frightened of the debasement of your currency, you should buy Bitcoin because the price is going to $700,000. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? So that is my thesis. It could be, like I suggest, it could be as simple as people are selling stocks to hold dollars to buy the dip, but banks and nations aren't doing that. They're getting out of dollars. They're trading their dollars in for assets. They are not selling their assets to hold dollars. I think they're moving into assets to wait and see what the next global currency is. I mean, they've said it for years at Davos, not just this year and not just last year, but years, talking about the global financial reset. Even, the Canadian, I guess not the prime minister, I don't know, over in China last week talking about he's happy to welcome in the new world order. I don't know. But I think the big boys, the ultra mega space whales, are positioning themselves in such a way that they can move forward into the new whatever the currency is, because the US dollar is being devalued. And so that's why all of a sudden gold, because you notice if you were China, you've been buying gold for 10 years. 10 years ago, gold was $1,600. So now you're up 3 or 4x on your investment. Don't you think you'd be selling it? They're not selling it. They're buying more of it. Nations are buying more of it at this price. And of course, retail is FOMOing in as well. But the big boys aren't selling. They aren't selling into the retail buying. That tells me something's funny. All us little peons can do is watch, do the best we can, try and position ourselves. I did see a post on X that said probably not a bad time to have a little bit of gold, a little bit of silver, a little bit of food put away, a little bit of ability to grow your own food, a little bit of water storage, because in the past, anytime there has been a period where the global reserve currency has shifted, it's come with periods of uncertainty and unrest and the inability to buy things. If all of a sudden, a loaf of bread is $7 and, a pound of hamburger is $15, $16 a pound, and you're still making $17 an hour, but the dollar is worthless, there's going to be some problems. So I am of the mindset that you should prepare for as many contingencies as you can. Obviously, you prepare for, things are going to continue as they have always continued, so I'm going to prepare for that. Yeah, but what if they don't? Maybe I ought to have a little bit of stuff squirreled away in case things go bad. Never a bad idea to hedge your bets or diversify your options. I'm not saying you have to be a doomsday prepper and go sell everything you own to buy half an acre off grid and build a bunker and, hydroponic farm and grow rabbits. That's, but, have a couple of months worth of food put away. Have some water stored in your basement or in your garage. Not a bad thing. Have a little bit of silver and gold in case the dollar becomes worthless and you need to go out and buy something. And all you got is, hey, I've got, an ounce of silver, which is worth $500 now. Okay, cool. I can get groceries for the month. I don't know. You do you. Just a thought. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about ONDO for a minute. This is next week. ONDO's summit. I couldn't come up with a word. Their big meeting next week. Here's who all is going to be there. Citi, Visa, Bank of New York, the Wall Street Journal, Swift, DRW, I'm not sure what that is, eToro, DTCC, Galaxy, Fidelity, PayPal, Citadel, VanEck, Invesco, NASDAQ, Pantera, Barron's, Moody's, Microsoft, Coinbase, Vanguard, Euroclear, BX Digital, StockTwits, I love it, BlackRock, never heard of them, Broadridge, MasterCard, probably nothing, CME Group, probably nothing, JP Morgan, probably nothing. Who are these people? Wisdom Tree, FT, Russell, Goldman Sachs, that's definitely a nobody. Bank of America, is that like Gulf of America? I don't know. Never heard of them. Societe Generale. Yeah. Do you like that? Franklin Templeton, probably a nobody. Standard Chartered, nobody. McKinsey and Company, nobody. Wellington, London Stock Exchange. Yeah. Like a bunch of nobodies at this summit. The ONDO Summit, the institutional era. ONDO. Wrong one. Yeah. ONDO's at 31 cents. Just saying. Might be kind of big deal. I bought a little ONDO last week at 42 cents. If I had some cash, I'd buy some more right here at 31 cents to average down a little bit, lower my average price. Obviously, I don't. I smell manipulation. I smell low markets, and they, it's all manipulated. So I don't even know what manipulation smells like anymore because it smells like everything. You know how you just get used to a smell? Yeah, everything's manipulation. All right, is that's my XRP. Let's go to. Nope, I'll say that for later. So here's from X Finance Bull. Are you holding HBAR? Look at this. Hedera is entering rooms most blockchains will never see. Hedera's global policy director, Isadora Arredondo. I don't know. Sorry, Isadora. Was selected for the IIF Future Leaders Cohort, whatever that, the Institute of International Finance, global association representing the world's largest banks and financial institutions. Interesting. It's not a conference appearance. It is a seat at the table where global financial policy gets shaped. Why does that matter for HBAR? I'm glad you asked. Actually, X Finance Bull is glad you asked. Hedera gains direct influence on regulatory conversations, strategic relationships, credibility as a real-world financial utility. The biggest advantage, Hedera becomes the sole public ledger with first-mover positioning in global policy discussions. Not another blockchain sitting on the IIF. Interesting. Like that musical says, I want to be in the room where it happens. Sorry, I've been listening to that with my kids lately. There you go. ONDO, HBAR, and my favorite XRP. The XRP rich list. Most people this is from K Capone, KK Apen. Yeah. Most people understand XRP distribution, not because they didn't look, because they never did the math. The top 10% of XRP holders. If you hold 2,307 XRP, congratulations, you are in the top 10% of all XRP holders. If you hold 8,000 or more, congrats, you're in the top 5%. And if you hold more than 48,000 XRP, you're in the top 1% of XRP holders. Where are you? Let me know in the comments. Where are you in the XRP stratosphere here? Yeah, this is about price. Price is just the output. This is about liquidity. Who has it? Who doesn't? And who needs it when demand shows up? So here you go. The number of accounts. The top. JC's. ICE says JC is in the top 1%. Maybe. This chart that he's showing here does not line up. The numbers don't line up. So he says top 1% is 75,000 or more. He says top 1% is 48,000. I don't know if this is an old chart or if this is based on old information. I'm not sure. So top 0.01%, 3,852,000. That's not a lot. That's not a lot. The top 0.1%, 295,000 XRP. The top 1%, oh, I'm sorry, I can't read. I was reading the number of accounts. Yeah, 48,000. So if you have, yeah, thank you, ICE. I got it. Yep. Top 1%, 48K. Top 0.5%, 85.8. Look at that. I mean, if you hold 2,300 XRP, that is, let's call XRP $2, even though it's not. That's $4,600. If you have $4,600 worth of XRP, you're in the top 10% of all holders. Interesting. So where do you rank? ICE says he was previously in the top 1%. I am below this number. I'll tell you that. And I want to leave today with one thought. And I'm going to read this whole thing, but I think as we talk about trying to retire the bloodline and number go up, this kind of struck me this morning, and I think it's important. From Mr. Husky, I own a small bakery. Business has been slow. Rent is up. I was thinking about closing. Last Friday, a teenager came in. He looked nervous. He counted out change for a cookie. He was short 50 cents. It's okay, I said. Take it. He ate it at a table, looking at his math homework. He looked stuck. I used to be a math tutor. I walked over. Quadratic equations? He nodded. I didn't get it. I sat down and helped him for 20 minutes. He got it. He left smiling. The next day, he came back with 2 friends. They bought cookies. The day after that, 5 kids came. Apparently, he had told the school. The lady at the bakery helps with homework. Now, my bakery is the after-school hangout spot. It's loud. It's messy. There are backpacks everywhere. Yesterday, I found a note in the tip jar. It was wrapped around a $20 bill. Thanks for helping my son pass math. Signed, a mom. I'm not closing the bakery. I think I finally found my purpose. It's not cookies, it's community. So let's say we all retire the bloodline. We all have as much money as Warren Buffett. Cool. What's it for? If your only purpose is just to make money, you miss the point. So yeah, I read that this morning just randomly. It kind of stuck to me. It's just a reminder that yes, we're here talking about crypto because crypto is a way for us to make money. But the money can't be the end. It needs to be the springboard to community. It needs to be the springboard to purpose. And The really good purposes are other people, not, hey, I have a better car. Hey, I have 6 houses. Hey, I have an airplane and a private island and a space station. Cool. How does that help people? No, no. So yeah, that stuck with me. I'll be pondering that. So let's say I do. Let's say XRP does go to $10,000. Cool. How am I going to use that to help people? How's that going to further my purpose? Because my purpose is not just to have money in the bank. Anyway, hope you have a purpose that's not just making money. And I hope that crypto, and in some small way, this channel and our community at Alpha Origins can help you make some money so that you can pursue your purpose. Because, hey, it's hard to pursue a greater purpose if you're having to rat race just to feed yourself and pay your rent and keep your lights on. All right. Have a great Thursday. I will not see you tomorrow. Assuming there's no crisis on Reptar's end, Reptar will be with you in the morning. I have an appointment that I have to get to at 10, so I won't be with you tomorrow. I will see you next Tuesday. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope Bitcoin goes to 700,000 this weekend, and we can all talk about our purpose on Tuesday. But till then, chomp chomp, and have a great Thursday.